Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of Wild Card Weekend on E!
Okay, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the Pacific Northwest, the home of the 12s, as it's called, CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Tonight, it's the NFC's turn to take center stage as we've got a wild card matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And when I think of Russell Wilson, I think not just of the big plays that he's made, and those are considerable, but when they were made. 4th and 26 in a Big Ten championship game against Michigan State when he was with Wisconsin. A big completion helped lead his team to a victory. A big 4th down throw for a touchdown in an NFC championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. When the chips are down, this guy plays at a big level.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
Now a give, right side. It's Carson. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage.
Check safety, check safety.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. He's going to walk one deep. He's got a man complete. And all the way down to the 40-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. And even 40 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
Room here to run. And he's taken down inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. They run it with Carson. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. Call it a gain of 3. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And how about this? It's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. From 10 yards out. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. So they take the opening kickoff and drive it all the way down the field.
And that's the last thing you want defensively. On the road, in the playoffs, and now you're down a touchdown right away.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
3rd and short yardage, Winston. And a throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game, because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Now it's Carson. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
It was Jaron Reed who got him down. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Michael Kendricks is an inside linebacker who can roam sideline to sideline and make plays.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Now a throw here on second down, and that's complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got Lockett. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
I'll go special. Let's go defense. Let's go defense.
Wilson now off the bootleg. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. Here's Wilson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. M.J. Stewart, mainly known for his pass coverage, this time a sack.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and the receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now Wilson on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Carl Nassib leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
They had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Vita Vea breaking through to get the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Here we go.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They go play action. Winston. He's got this one complete to Sherfield. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 27 yards there, a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Running on first down, Eckler. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Right now in the second quarter on the defensive side, they got to feel pretty good about what they're doing.
They should embrace the feeling they have now, embrace the way that they're playing, and continue that through the half. I know defensive coordinators, sometimes they overthink it, start wondering how they're going to be attacked. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play, stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. This will be caught just inside the 10. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a fourth down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because...
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit.
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Trent Sherfield, 75 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away.
That's it, baby. We gonna work.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Hey, we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
On the delay, here's Carson. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go. Let's do this. 45. Ready. 45. Ready. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. He'll check that down to Carson. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing is Wilson. Shifts by him. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 44-yard line. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Shaquille Barrett just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Now the Seahawks forced to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Wilson. This complete to Lockett. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup as we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The second of our 2 games here on this wildcard Saturday is at halftime. We'll get back to you two in just a second. But first, let's take a look ahead to Sunday's action in the NFC. A 3-6 battle that ought to be a good one, as it's going to be one heck of a battle, that's for sure. Meanwhile, it's been as tight as we expected our game to be, all even at the half. Who will go on to the divisional round? We'll find out as we send it back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. One of these 2 teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for first and 10. On the ground, it's Eckler. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The first down run got 5. Here's second and 5. Jameis to throw it. Completes it to Aguilar. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Nelson Aguilar, 33 yards. And the Bucs have taken the lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's first and 10 at the 39-yard line. And they'll try the jet sweep here. Tackle made by Adrian Phillips.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now Winston. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down, 2nd and right at a yard.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. On play action, Winston. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Here's Winston. And that's incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And Gay knocks this one through, and that'll make this a 7-point game. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They trail 20-13 our scores. They have it 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Completes this one to Meredith. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Right there, 55. 3 bucks.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, left side complete to Lockett. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 19 yards there on the... Catch and run.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
On 1st down, Carson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, it's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
He's got 9 points on field goals now. He's made 3 of them. That gets him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And for him, it's not his concern, right? He just goes out there when they call on him and goes ahead and puts points up on the board. But the offense has got to get together and figure out what's stalling their drives, so they have to keep calling on him.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Winston now. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over.
Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They'll try the right side with Eckler. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the 4th.
Ready? On
On 2nd and 12, Winston. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
The Bucs on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This time it's 3rd and 3. Winston. Aguilar has it. The 20. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He had 1 touchdown earlier, nearly a 2nd one there.
Yeah, it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
On 2nd and goal, Winston under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Michael Kendricks coming in to drop him.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear him now. 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Bobby Wagner, the former 2nd-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
And it appears to me that someone's defensive coordinator is jockeying for a raise. A sack on 2nd and goal, a sack on 3rd and goal, now brings up a decision on 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And now back out comes the offense. And what a pressure spot for both sides, really. But they're at home now. They have the football here in the playoffs, sort of controlling their own destiny.
It's a spot they've all dreamed of. This is where you want to be. Home, have the ball, a chance to win the game, control your own destiny, as you noted. But here's the thing. Don't let the crowd get too involved if you're this team now. You've got to make sure you let them carry you, but not cause you to do things out of what you're supposed to do, right? Take you away from focusing and concentrating on the game.
Because sometimes you get so amped from the crowd that can carry you in the spot you don't want to be. Is that what you're saying?
From experience, sometimes that crowd gets so involved in it and you get involved with them that you end up making plays or trying to do things that maybe you shouldn't have done.
A nice pickup on 1st down, 7 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
To throw again on 2nd down, Wilson. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 34-yard line.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw again is Wilson. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. On 3rd down, Wilson. That's complete to Meredith. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
At 4th quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Yannick Ngakoue able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And Myers able to knock it through, and that'll bring them back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
The face mask moves them all the way out past the 40 now for 1st down. Going on the ground with Eckler. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. From just shy of midfield, Winston. It's caught by Aguilar. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Eckler. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Focus, defense, focus. Easy. 52's the mark.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Double dog, that's the way.
49, check 49, check 49.
Hey, 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Wait, hold up. Let's go.
Again, it's Jones. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10.
Easy. Flip it.
from the red zone now. Winston. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Winston, a handoff. This is Jones. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That's it. Big hit.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Gay's kick is good. And that'll make this a 7-point game. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, then no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Let's go.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Now, one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. Getting into the playoffs is one thing. Now they get to move on. Just 8 teams left.
The dream stays alive. Everyone's gunning for the Super Bowl. That's the ultimate. But you have to get there in incremental steps. One win today gets them one step closer.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Seattle.